In one of the endings for Cyberpunk 2077's first and only expansion, that being Phantom Liberty, you actually end up travelling 2 years into the future and revisiting Night City in the year 2079. I thought that this was a really interesting topic to make a video about, especially since I've covered Night City in 2024, where you play as Johnny Silverhand. And in that video I basically flew around trying to look for some interesting details that usually you can't explore or even see with your own two eyes. So today we're going to be doing something very similar. We're going to be flying around Night City in the year 2079 and showing off some pretty cool things which you probably don't know. But before we get into today's video, we have a quick word from Streamerly Corporation. On the 15th of May 2024, Cyberpunk 2077 and Edge Runners voice actors / actresses will be hosting a live autograph signing event. Head over to Streamerly's website using the link in this video's description to check out what's on offer. You can currently pre-purchase signed autographs from such likeable characters as Mr. Kurt Hansen, Mrs. Songbird, Miss Alt Cunningham, and many more. If you're feeling extra lonely, you can even pre-order an autograph to be signed live on the 15th of May. You can even add a personalized message for some autographs. Make sure that people are aware that you are more wealthy than they are. Remember, money is temporary. Memories are forever. Streamly and Sarah MZK do not take any responsibility for financial liquidation or bankruptcy that may occur from being too big of a Cyberpunk fan. So I just want to start by showcasing some pretty big differences between Night City in 2077 and 2079. The first one which I noticed in this little underpass tunnel area is this advert right about here. In 2077, this is just your kind of generic advertisement which you can see pretty much anywhere in the city. However, in 2079, a gigantic cock drawn on it. I just thought it was pretty funny. As you enter 2079, you come down this highway as well, and there's a lot of differences going on with these buildings which are on the side of the motorway. You can see that this gigantic building on the corner is actually now covered in scaffolding. There's a good amount of extra detailing on this building. You have some sort of glowing advertisement as well, presumably whoever's developing the building. And of course you have this gigantic crane. This crane is also actually in Jig Street as well. The base of it is pretty near to it. Talking of Jig Street, you can tell that there's a good amount of shops or storefronts that have actually been closed down, or they've been chucked with a load of scaffolding. One of those is that weird nightclub, some kind of adult sex club, which has actually been covered up. And interestingly, if you clip behind all of this scaffolding, you actually still get the facade of the building. It hasn't been removed, it's just kind of been painted over. One of my favourite elements of 2079 is this little corner street which exists as you're driving in the Delamain cab. So you get a lot of this extra debris which is surrounding this building, and I think you get quite a lot of Dogtown-esque props, particularly these cranes which you can find throughout Dogtown but aren't present in the base game of 2077. But again, to really emphasise a point, even with all of these buildings that are covered in scaffolding that look like there's interesting stuff going on with them, they are quite literally the same models from the base game, just with some extra details thrown on top. Just around the corner from this place as well is an interesting little courtyard where you can find the man that's blown off his penis, and you can actually see that there is a Militech AV which is just parked up in this place. But we can actually turn on no clip and we can go up to this thing and actually get inside of it as well. You'll notice that this AV is incredibly detailed inside, even down to the rain effects coming down the windshield. I think it looks fantastic. And it's interesting because I can't think from memory where you get into a Militech AV. I'm sure it happens at some point, but it's pretty cool just how detailed this thing actually is. And finally, I just want to have a little look at the underpass or the tunnel which you pass through. This is arguably the most detailed area, even though it retains a lot of the infrastructure and a lot of the formatting of the base game. There's just a great amount of atmosphere that has gone into making this place look truly run down. And we're talking about Night City as well. Like, even for Night City standards, this looks shit. I really like the additional signage as well. Give me my life back. Corpo stole my soul. It's so full of substance. I absolutely love the environmental storytelling. And of course we just have some more miscellaneous buildings which have been covered up, but the buildings actually remain the same. They don't increase in height, they don't move around, they aren't destroyed or taken out. So now we've gone through the details, I actually just want to show off some pretty interesting things which I found whilst flying around Night City in 2079. Of course, the first thing to really hammer home is that unlike 2024 Night City, which is its own separate entity that spawned all the way out in the Badlands, 2079 is quite literally a cookie cutter part of Night City that has been slightly modified. So outside of this very on-rails area, the city behaves in exactly the same way, with some minor differences which I'll get into extremely shortly. But that's just what I really want to hammer home, because I feel like with 2024 we got this impression like CDPR were capable of actually, you know, modelling a pretty small scale version of Night City that had alterations. In this case it's not true, so I wonder why, I wonder why the difference was done with that. It's probably easier, but you never know. Anyhow, so the first thing which I did notice, which I sort of had to double take because I was a little confused, is just this massive fuck off rectangle just flying through. You can see it just goes through Mega Building 11 and it extends all the way through these other skyscrapers. Truly, I don't have a clue. Like, I actually do not have a clue what this means. I thought it was maybe something to do with the weather, because 2079 is shrouded in permanent darkness and rain, but no, truly I have no idea. So if anyone else has a better idea, please let me know in the comment section of the video. There's also a lot of weird quirks, like for example, you can ride the N-cart perfectly fine in 2079. I expected a lot of the actual fundamental game mechanics to be broken, because you are supposed to be in this mission area, but quite literally everything that I could find functions as intended. What's pretty funny as well relating to N-cart is that if you do decide to hop on a train, then the weather actually clears up, like completely clears up. The rain and the darkness just disappears and you're basically left with this stock weather. That is apart from this one specific instance where it almost looked like the weather had turned grayscale, like it was some kind of overcast setting that looked pretty interesting. And again, I can't say I've ever seen this in 2077, so it's pretty funny to look at. You can still go to V's apartment as well, NPC spawn, everything is pretty much as it should be in this area, and you can even get into Dogtown and get some real nice shots with the permanent rain which extends to Dogtown for whatever reason. And yeah, really that is 2079. Apart from the handmade details, there isn't really a lot which is different about it, which is kind of expected, but also at the same time there's a lot of elements here that truly baffle me. So anyway, that is the long awaited 2079 exploration video. Guys, I do hope you enjoyed. As I said at the start of the video, tomorrow is this lovely Cyberpunk voice actor, voice actresses signing event, so you can get yourself a sweet autograph from Mr. Kurt Hansen himself. Make sure you follow the link in the video description to go check some of it out. That would really make my day. I think I might be purchasing some little bits here and there as well, because it'd be fucking rude not to. And anyways, I think I'll end it here before I keep rambling. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you lot in a bit.